Hello, this is Scratch flying solo today for the Hidden Community Cup Jean Bureau King of the Losers bracket between Powmat and One Will Fam, our 11-year-old wonderkind. As my favorite, the Byzantines in the red versus Powmat in the blue as the Georgians? Yeah, the Georgians. I have not played the Armenians or the Georgians yet. All I know is they get a mule cart, but sometimes they don't get a mule cart. Or no, one of them spawns with it, the other one doesn't. And one of them has a priest that can fight, but they both have churches that can fight. And yeah, that's the extent of my knowledge. I know one of them is good on water, and the other one is less good on water. So anyway, that's what we know. And this is Arabia. This is the King of Loser bracket. I'm very sorry this one has been so late. We've gotten really busy with, real life stuff. Dennis is busy at work, so I'm flying solo on all these, which has made me more capable of scheduling them to more niche hours, which I then use to play Street Fighter 6 or something like that. So I'm sorry, my bad, people. We're here now. Let's see, what do we got? We got some scouting going on for we've got sheep scouting for our blue player. That's cool to see. Good job, Powmat. What do you got over here? I can't remember. We've got no sheep scouting, but we are being very particular about how we slaughter our sheep, and that's very good because I've mocked these players before for not getting rid of their sheep in a good order. Powmat, it is not even 3 minutes. What are you doing? Is that a misclick? You can't build a... Oh, you don't need a... You don't need a lumber camp. I've now discovered that Georgians are the ones that start with a mule cart. Okay, so Powmat is doing Jean Bureau things where we spam a ton of infantry. Cool. Very understandable. Pretty good boar pull, I believe. I don't think... Yeah, no damage taken. That's pretty cool. Well done. Okay, so we're going barracks immediately. We can't even make a militia yet because we don't have any food, but we're thinking about it. We're going to it. I'm going to move this microphone closer to me, so I might get a little bit louder, and for that I apologize, but I realized it was far away. What do we got? We got 4... I hate Dark Age solo casting. Okay, this is less than ideal. I feel like things went pear-shaped very quickly. I was just over here, and everybody was very dutifully taking care of the boar, and now we've got a sheep massacre. Meanwhile, in the red camp, we're very, very casual. I looked at the wrong time. Shift Q your villagers for your sheep. That's the moral here. We've got some scouts duking it out. No hits yet. What do I think between Byzantines and Georgians? Well, since I just discovered what the Georgian game plan is, I'm a little nervous about One Will Fam finding that, because the Byzantines, I feel like a Byzantine wallop in response to that early of a barracks would be pretty clear. Backing it up with some skirmishers into archers behind your walls, maybe? I don't know. Not sure. I know that if I saw a barracks at less than 3 minutes, I would be concerned about the sudden openness of my base. This feels pretty wallable for One Will Fam. The front is going to be a bit of a pain, but if you put your business end buildings there, you'll be fine. Your markets, your barracks, your archery ranges, and whatnot. One Will Fam is already down by 1 villager. It's unfortunate. Forgive my dogs. I don't know if you can hear them with the door shut and the new mic. If you can, please let me know in the comments. Standard vibes over here in the One Will Fam base. We're still waiting on this to pay off. I don't think it's a negative building the barracks that early, but it's kind of strange to see it that early and not see any output from it. Another good boar pull. I think we got 1 hit on it. We're still murdering sheep though, which is kind of awkward. Yeah, I can't believe that never occurred to me that they could just build a barracks and be done with it. They don't even need to build a mill. That's insane. I don't think it's overpowered, but that's a very cool niche. I really like how this game has like 45 civilizations, and each one of them finds some way to feel very unique. Alright, we got Loom coming in for our blue player. Is that to hold over until we get fuel? No, we got fuel. Feudal is right behind it. Cool. One Will Fam, where you at? Click the button. Oh, that might be a dead. Did One Will Fam goof on their math? Okay. I mean, obviously not a great boar pool, but it was very far away. This is very unfortunate, though. We want to start clicking that, Oh. Okay, we're just going past 20. I mean, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. We're going to a gold mine. Barracks. And a gold mine. Start turning in food. Clicking that A button on the villagers to turn in food. We have the food for feudal age. We just need to click the button. We're just going to do it the old-fashioned way with some berry villagers and click it that way. I respect that to an extent. I, too, can be lazy in Dark Age. Quick garrison to kill the scout. Yeah, there it is. Look at that, look at that, look at that. And we don't even know that our opponent has a barracks or that we're on gold. That's actually very good. Now, the question is, has One Will Fam discovered this bullshit yet? There it is. They've discovered it. Now, it's not an abnormal instance for it to be built at this time, so it's not really a big deal. It is just a little awkward to me that we'd build the barracks so immediately with Georgians who seem like they're probably one of the only civs that can do that quickly, but not do anything with it. I know that nobody really wants to stay in Dark Age forever, but I feel like that was the intent, and then we didn't see it, so it just became a little awkward. More Scholar immediately. I forgot what that was called. Need some water, because, oh my gosh, I'm out of water. Alright, it's going to be a fun game. I don't like that we've hit feudal age, and oh, we've hit feudal age, but we don't have any wood because we didn't have any woodcutters because we didn't transition, we didn't balance our economy. Okay. I was gonna say, I don't like that we hit feudal age and we've done nothing. So, One Will Fam has hit feudal age and has 150 wood in the bank. What are we doing? Us. Archer age, okay. I thought that was wrong. So we're going scouts on Byzantines. That's a particular favorite of, I'm sorry, not scouts, archers. I don't know how to talk. We're going archers on Byzantines. That's a particular favorite of mine. I also really like doing it on Arabia, but slow pushing is not the easiest thing to do in my experience at this elo. I mean, people struggle with it at my elo. It's me, I'm people. Okay, we're doing a second mule cart, and we are deciding that this forest needs to be destroyed by 15 villagers. Okay. 23 lumberjacks. Okay, and okay, I like it. We're grouping up on the lumber camp, and then we're gonna pull them off one by one to make farms. Okay, I dig it. It's a little awkward to do that while our TC is not producing villagers. I hope this gets stabilized because I know One Will Fam has learned how to climb the villager count. I didn't see any deer pushing from either opponent, which is fine. That's really hard to do, and scouting I think is at this elo more valuable, although I'll be honest, the scouting information didn't reveal much. All we really saw was that our blue opponent has a barracks and where their wood lines are. All our blue opponents saw was the TC as they were shot. So, getting a lumber camp upgrades. This is a lot of houses. No, it's not. It's not. I'm crazy. Just kind of looks like it is. I don't know why. We're going to stable. It's going to be a very slow scout rush. More like a scout segue. Not really a rush. I do like this wall up. This is a little slow, but good. I don't like walling off the gold. I'd rather we go over here, but I'm greedy. I hate walling off mineral resources, especially on Arabia. It's not something I actively try to avoid doing this. We've got a good number of farms coming up for our blue player. Red player's catching up, but we've got other plans. We're going on to deer with a mill. I like that a lot. Where's this spearman going? Where are these guys going? What, you saw a stable? Did you even see a beforehand? Oh. Yeah, no, you guys just saw that stable. There's no way. But I mean, okay, this is pretty aggressive. I don't know if it's a particularly good attack, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's aggressive. I like it. I don't know about the numbers of 4 spearmen to 2 archers. We've got 2 more coming in. I hope they can catch up quickly. Villagers are fighting back. We need to pull these archers out so they can be useful, because the spearmen will die, which is going to be very unfortunate when that stable comes up. We've also got a skirmisher in the mix. A little bit of a kitchen sink in the feudal age. I'm okay with it. Palmat did send his villagers to fight, which is good for one will fam. It produces idle time. Villagers can fight, especially in feudal age. They're not even that bad at it, I would say, against several unit types. The only problem is you have to actually babysit them. They will stop attacking after their current target is deceased. Now we got 2 eco kills out of that for one will fam, and we are preventing the stable from going up. I wonder if Palmat has the awareness to realize that they don't need the stable to go up, they can just build another one. Okay, or we can just push them out. That seems to be working. We're trying to micro. We are microing. Not perfectly, but that's okay. Man-at-Arms is a tough unit, because I have a benefit to infantry of some kind. I don't know. It's already been proven on this channel that I don't know anything about this game. Start with free meal cart, use builders, see that minus less damage, okay. And cavalry regenerates health. Okay. They're the cavalry unit that, wait, their buildings receive less damage, okay. I misread the cavalry health regen and thought the buildings repaired automatically and was very confused. I like the archery range. Something's gotta happen, yeah. I wouldn't mind a stable. I get why we're not finishing this one, that's fine, but maybe one over here by the gold. One will fam can afford Castle Age. Are we clicking it? We have forgotten our buildings. Okay. But hey, that's good reaction. We realized we don't have our buildings. We pulled a whole bunch of people off of it to build it real quick. It's not perfect, but it's good. Are we gonna remember to click it? Oh, we bought more villagers? Okay. That's fine. Our opponent is super stuck in Dark Age. Or Feudal Age, Feudal Age. This is really good aggression from the Wunderkind. And we're getting fletching on top of this. I would have liked to have seen fletching before. Generally speaking, my rule of thumb is to build 4 to 6 archers, and as they're walking to their opponent, to get fletching then. Now that being said, one will fam was a little spooked on stables, so they were going the spearman route to... Has this stable been here this whole time? Have I been complaining about this not built stable this whole time, and there's been a stable right here next to it? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Okay, it's about to get crowded in that archery range. Going straight counter units, which is fine. We've gotten a lot of value out of this attack for one will fam. Lots of idle time. Although weirdly only matching one will fam's quantity. Oh, that might have something to do with that. That's a lot of villagers walking, bumping into each other, and frankly not doing stuff. Half of these guys, now a third of these guys need to transition to farms. Or we ourselves are going to be stuck in feudal age forever. But we're picking up we're picking up eco kills. I like that Palmat is remembering to mass up their units instead of sending them in one by one to die. Now these archers need to change targets very quickly. There we go. Can we micro them? Yes. Very good. Very good. Okay, now one will fam is still on the offensive. These units, I think they've lost 1 so far in the second incursion. Now we need to start thinking about Palmat this is not killing the enemy and removing the problem. We need to figure out what our next step is. Building up the small units of skirmishers and archers is not working. What do we do next? I would say that we need to kind of transition out of sight of our opponent. Maneuver our villagers away from the threat and kind of force them to either not have any targets or spend time looking around while we build a counter. I don't necessarily agree with the 3 stable approach, to be perfectly honest, but I get it. 3 stables is just a little insane when we don't even have that much gold, but I'll take it. This is a good force. I think this will repel the attack. I'd like these 2 skirmishers to get in on the action too. We need to find these 2 villagers out of here. One Wolf Fam, how you doing? Hey, we did build more farms. This is still kind of a nightmare, but it's not as bad. I'm just nervous about them walking over here. I would also like to see a wall up behind this, especially since you know your opponent built not 1 but 2 stables. One Wolf Fam is still microing this engagement while they're under attack. That's very concerning to me. Villagers are fighting back, good reaction. We got spearmen in the mix too. And there's no value for this attack so far. The Wonderkind has figured out how to balance. Oh my goodness. That's it, and we're in Castle Age. And now this situation just got very bleak for Powmat. Okay, let's see. I don't think it's over yet by any means. It might be, but I'm not sure. The attack on Powmat has been pretty much defended. I don't disagree with the counterattack with the scouts, but I'll be honest, I think 3 stables is much. I think I would have preferred to see a marketplace. Yeah. Or maybe even a second archery range to deal with those skirmishers. No, you don't need a second archery range. You just needed a bigger group of skirmishers with the scouts to back them up. That being said, I think 3 stables is way too much. I would have preferred to see this as a market, or even some more farms kind of off to the side. Again, that was a situation where we needed to give our opponent something to look for rather than something to look at. I like the counterattack idea, but I think at that time you needed to repel that attack. I could be wrong on that, and I probably am, but I think that you were trying to force yourself to balance, and that was not a time where you wanted to balance. That should have been full focus on the defense, and then responding with a counterattack on the immediate. I think would have been better situationally for you. We're going into a stable for One Wolf Fam. I have a feeling that the Wunderkind is going to be leaning very heavily onto the Byzantine counter unit concept. This is not a good scenario for these villagers. Good reaction from the kid. We're pulling them forward. We double click the pikemen to send them in. That's fine because then our skirmishers and our archers get to stay alive. Now, instead of garrisoning this One Wolf Fam, think about this. I want you to think about what we could do instead. You could move these villagers over to this wood line towards the pikemen in the hopes that possibly the scouts would follow, and then those pikemen would be having heal advantage right here, and the villagers could even join in and help. That way, instead of moving from a position under threat to safety in the garrison of the TC, they're moving from a position under threat to a workable position that's not under threat. And they're also moving towards their support with the pikemen. Powmat's been able to click Castle Age for a while. We did finally click it. That's good to see. And we're going camels. So all counter units all the time for the Byzantines player, and that's totally expected. It's what they do, and they're very good at it. The trick is to not overinvest. You have to combine your winning units as well. But I would also start building camels when I saw my opponent was on 3 stables and a gold pile. There's definitely knights coming in. This should be your clue to pick a unit. I would say camels and crossbows, or crossbows and pikemen would be fine. Elite skirmishers, fine, but not necessarily relevant here. That being said, unbeknownst to me, Powmat is going 11 archers, so never mind. I guess skirmishers are the right play. But really what we need to do here is we need to finish up this wall up, because if Powmat is thinking clearly about the fact that they have 3 stables on their face and a gold pile, they would be streaming knights into your economy with reckless abandon. That being said, I hate this wall up. Let's just put a house here and call it done, and then start going this way. This is a whole bunch of extra stuff that we do not need to defend against. This is a nutso attack. I don't know if I would go about this. This is not enough archers to lend support. These guys don't have bodkin. Our pikemen are upgraded, but our camels aren't. This is definitely a kitchen sink response. I'm not a big fan of it. I think that I would rather see camels or pikemen. Maybe investing a little bit into camels is fine because you suspect knights, but you haven't seen them yet. They are, however, working, but we need to pick a target, and that target needs to be preferably something other than this house wall. But meanwhile, I would also like to see us continuing to build villagers and crossbowmen behind this. There's a hotkey that can select all military units. It's a very dangerous hotkey because obviously it selects every unit on the map, but it's good in situations like this where I'm trying to go back and forth, but I don't necessarily want to. Okay, blue's going spearman. Sure. Oh, maybe this house wall was because they were super housed. Okay. Now, I'm curious if these light cav, scout cav, are going to go around and counter raid, or if they're going to go attack this. Because unfortunately, I think if they attack this, they die pretty heartily. The tower I'm not opposed to, but one villager is not going to get it up. We need to pull in some farmers to help with that. Yeah, the scouts are just going to die. That's unfortunate. I like the tower, but we needed to get this up about 30 seconds ago. But also, I would prefer it if these units picked a building. If the building is going to be the house, let it be the house. If it's going to be the barracks, let it be the barracks. It doesn't matter, but they want to be focusing their attack on one thing. Preferably the palisade, but that's at the back, to be honest. So I get it. Okay, now the tower's up. The spearmen are here. That's your cue to leave. There you go. So, One Will Fam, I can't pick apart what you're doing wrong with your microing, but it feels slow. That's not to say you're doing a bad job. You are microing, and it's awesome to see. But there's clearly something there that we can tighten up. That might just be practice, to be honest. I'm not good enough at this game to recognize it. Powmat, I really like what you've got now. But we're not on gold, and that's very awkward to me. I think, are we trying to get farms up? Because unfortunately knights aren't going to answer this very well. The tower's helping though, but it's unfortunate that we have 4 villagers in there. Okay. That tower definitely put in some work. The knights, it looked like they were actually targeting the ranged units, which is good. I don't know if the tower was also targeting the camels, which I think would be ideal. All right, One Will Fam, now what? You have now officially lost steam. We're hitting Imperial Age, so I am full of it. I don't know about going to Feudal Age with 36 villagers and two town centers. I'd like to get some army on the board, but that being said, Powmat should be attacking with this. We need to kill light cavalry if the Civ gets it, and counter raid. We need to hit this economy hard and fast, immediately, like right as soon as that attack is over. Even if it's just to confirm that One Will Fam is still open, which they are. That is, we don't want the Byzantines who have these cheap counter units to develop their army, because the whole idea of the Byzantine counter unit concept is because they're cheap, they can field an army of counter units and then start slotting in their game-winning units on top of it very easily. So giving them time to breathe is obviously less than ideal. I'm kind of shocked we haven't seen One Will Fam transition to stone yet. Okay, we're thinking about it right now. I would have preferred that a little bit earlier, but we've had things to do and we're only doing it with 41 villagers. One Will Fam has actually managed to keep up with Powmat in terms of villager count in spite of having 10 minutes of idle TC. So that's good. You have lost 4 villagers for Palmat, so I suppose that's it. Oh no, they've both lost 4 villagers. I'm crazy. Okay, so again, this is a problem that I've ran into for a long time with my 150 something games in Byzantines. We start thinking Byzantine counter units, those are great. They don't really win games. We need to develop a game winning strategy and then utilize the cheap counter units to help make that happen. And I think in this situation, especially with our opponent cut off from gold, a castle drop would definitely be good. It's very hard to tell. Yeah, red is slaughtering this. That might be a combination of the hill. That's a lot of hussars and knights. I think we needed to see a second barracks a few minutes ago. We do have a third TC. If that snuck past me, I missed it. Hey, we're garrisoning villagers instead of ringing the bell. That's good to see. Alright, now unfortunately these guys can basically live here forever because we've stopped developing the military, but they don't know about the stone yet, which is good. Okay, we're gonna wheel them around. Palmat, what are you doing on the back of this? This is probably the worst place for you to run to be honest. This is a choke point between 2 garrison TCs that we can send counter units into. Okay. One will fam, we need to see more military buildings here. We've got a nice booming economy, but we're not really benefiting from it at the moment because it's very slow to build up our military. Okay. Imagine how quickly we could have responded to that if we had, say, 2 or 3 barracks. Or even 2 or 3 stables. We've got heaps of wood. Oh no, that's Palmat. I'm sorry, I can't read. Okay, now this is a bit frustrating for me. I think this castle might go up just by the sheer tenacity. Oh no, unfortunately half these villagers are half dead. Okay. It's hard to say. We've stopped building military. Okay, we see the villagers. We're marching forward. Can we build our own? We can build our own castle right now. A defensive castle to deny this with these gold villagers would be amazing. Come on, One Wolf fam. You got it. Sorry, Palmat, I might be a little biased. Okay, there's the castle, but we need... Okay, sure. We need, like, everybody. Everybody needs to contribute to this thing. Got 12 villagers heading, but I think the Georgian player might have the advantage here. Just sheer time. They've lost 1 villager so far. We're streaming in units. We need to keep them in garrison so they can bulk up. Can this range the TC? I think so. It's on the edge. Now this is a Byzantine castle, so if it goes up, it will win this fight by default. Okay. Okay. So this is actually, and we're slamming the petards button. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Okay, we've got Manaspa coming in for the blue player. Okay. One Wolf fam, we need to move to a different location. I would suggest monks out of this monastery, maybe, and just start slamming pikemen. Don't get me wrong, hitting 15 petards is really cool. Also consider trebuchets. Don't forget you're an Imperial Age. Well, no, not with the Manaspa out. Okay, we're having the Manaspa attack the castle to hopefully negate the the Byzantine health bonus, but it's substantial, I don't think. Okay, that was unfortunate, but now we know what, now our opponent knows what we're up to. I wonder if you just garrison those, or waypoint those guys into the enemy, if that would work better. The blue castle is going to go down. Blue needs a follow-up to this. I'm curious what it might be. It looks like it might be a second castle, which is also fine. There's the trebuchet, okay. I don't think that trebuchet is a good idea right now. We let our opponent get Manaspa. We need to start building some pikes. We've still got villagers in here. This is tunnel vision in extreme. We need to pull out. Oh, we've got our blue petards. I didn't even see those. Byzantine castle might go down. Unfortunately, you can't garrison a trebuchet. Yeah, we need pikemen to back up this trebuchet, unfortunately. Blue petards keep coming. This is one of those keep calm and figure out what we need to do at this moment kind of parts of the game. Byzantine castles can withstand this kind of punishment, but we really need to figure out what do we do after this. Okay, we're starting to build pikemen. I would really love a second barracks. What have we got going on over here? Palmat? Not much. A second castle and a fourth castle. Sorry, yeah. 2 second castles is how I should have said that. Okay, now this is, these villagers are in range of this castle, which is unfortunate. Are we continuing to petard? No, so this castle is gonna die right now. Yep, there we go. And now this castle is gonna go up, and this has been successfully defended. Not perfectly defended, not well defended, I don't think, but successfully well defended. There's so much arrow fire here that Palmat didn't understand that when they were coming into game 1 of this set of 5 that one Wolfham just wanted to play a tower defense. Admittedly with no towers. Okay, now, one Wolfham. How do we close this game out? What is the go-to? We know our opponent wants to do cavalry things, but our opponent is now on Imperial Age. What do we do? Maybe we surround a trebuchet with pikemen and some backup crossbowmen, and we just start plucking away. Unfortunately, we have a shoestring economy due to having lost 48 villagers. Is Palmat finally gonna finish walling in their base in this beautiful ring? Okay, defensive castle. I like that. I'm curious, wouldn't you want to build it on the hill to get that 15% bonus? It might be on a hill, I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't necessarily know if this defensive castle needed that much idle time to be built. Yeah, one Wolfham is just kind of stopped. Okay, we're balancing the economy. Camels and pikes it is. Let's build some more military buildings. Double, triple our production rate. trying to think of what One Will Fam needs. Like right now, I'd say 18 woodcutters. I'd say maybe 5 or 6 of those need to transition to farms, I think. This force is going to come out in force, rather. And it's going to be brutal. Is there a hole there? Okay. Alright. This is, these trebuchets are dead. And down she goes. And a quick retreat. Okay, I like that actually. Let's regroup, let's figure out our plan to attack the rest. We already know that TC's full of villagers, so better off not attacking it. Good stuff. We're going heavy camel. Okay. We do not have the economy for heavy camel at this moment. 25 farms is decent, but let's consider 30, 35, 40. The gold income we have is very good, but like again, this is not a stable economy. We need to get our bearings and rebuild. But again, having multiple barracks to stream out those delightful counter units would very much help here. I think that perhaps going to Imperial Age so early may have been the problem. We're getting Cavalier for our blue player and Conscription. Got a Trebuchet on the ground already. Somewhere. And we're continuing to expand our economy. We're getting Halberdier, which is good. I think I would have preferred to see Halberdier before Camel. Just because between the two, camels are expensive and cost gold. But so far, my primary advice, One Will Fam, is we need to tighten this base up. This needs to be walled up by now, for sure, with as much stable units as we're seeing. A raid would not be a pleasant experience. We've got the big anti-cavalry boys, but I don't think there's enough of them with 10 to 18. The bravest Byzantine soldiers. They are upgraded, not fully, but they're getting there. Let's get under the castle. Yeah, numbers won over there, but we did take out most, like all of them, actually. Hold on. Wow, yeah, these Manaspa are glass cannons. Okay, so blue did win out, but they also showed off the trebuchets. One Will Fam, if you had more villagers, you could field a larger army. Consider the villager your greatest asset. 5 stables. All right. I'm not even going to talk about Palmat right now. 5 stables is nuts. But, you know, they are, I'll admit, Palmat is doing what I'm kind of telling One Will Fam to do, in that we need to build the multiple buildings so that our counter units can be useful because they're massed up. Okay, there's a second barracks. 1 hour and 6 minutes. Could have been there a little earlier. But again, counter units are counter units. How do we close out the game? It could be with 2 trebuchets. What I personally like to do, especially when we've already teched into bodkin, padded or leather archer armor, and crossbows, is keep hurling halberdier out, back them up slowly but surely with some arbalisters, and then transition into a slow castle push. It's a little complicated because we need stone, but I think that starting with a defensive castle here on this gold, and then we can slowly force our opponent back. That's going to be difficult because Georgians and their buildings are quite tough as well. But they have to be supported, right? Okay, we are thinking Arbalister. This game's pretty nutso so far. I'm very nervous about these trebuchets. I don't want them to be revealed too early. Where did the... Okay, blue trebuchets are safely back. Okay. We've got a relic for blue. I didn't even notice that. Very cool. Thinking about late game. There are 4 others on the map. Now, one will fam, I like the wall up idea, but we need to start protecting this wood line. Or I'm sorry, this farmland. From university down. I'm getting halberdier for the camels? Okay. Maybe that was a misclick. I'm not so sure I understand Palmat's barracks choice. Do Georgians get gunpowder? They get cannon galleon, so I'm guessing yes. They do not get bombard cannon. Byzantines do. That is an advantage. Now that being said, bombard cannon isn't going to be very useful against this many cavalier, but that's why we have halberdier. And arbalists. This is a very dangerous gold camp. We need to reinforce this. This needs to have a castle on it. Yep, we're taking the attack that we can get. That's good. Oh, that's not good. There's a... That might be it. Okay. I may have spoken too early. The Cavalier are distracted by the beautiful Byzantine houses that are taking out the trebuchets with the trash units. The arbalists, however, are no more. But one Wolfham can protect against it. The castle's not going down yet. But again, the problem here is that Palmat seems to have an understanding of how to close this game out. One Wolfham is still figuring that out. Siege workshop. Okay. Heaps of gold. Okay. Bracer's good. Again, multiple archery ranges. Pumping out arbalists, backed up by halberdier, under a castle. I can't tell if those villagers are dead yet. I think this castle gets cancelled. Now, sometimes when your strategy consists of 5 barracks, the fact that Byzantines get cheaper counter units can feel a lot like punching a brick wall. The wall will eventually crumble, but oh no, did not see the gold mine? Oh, that's dreadful. Okay. Oh, they see the mine, they just don't see the villagers on it. That sucks. This castle would be absolutely destructive on that hilltop. Palmat, I like the strategy so far. I'm not so certain about the capped rams. Maybe, like, they're okay. Maybe they're to deal with trebuchets, but I don't think so. I actually like the all-in cavalry concept, but we need to back them up, maybe with monks to heal them for raids, or with some trebuchets of our own, maybe try and do like a pincer attack over here, because our opponent is using very slow units. Okay, 3rd barracks in a very offensive position. Another archery range is cool. Oh, pull those guys back. There we go. These trebuchets need to move. Now, unfortunately, in this instance, our blue player has forgotten about unit upgrades. So these are fully upgraded Imperial Age troops fighting against a mixture of Castle Age units. Now, the capped rams will destroy the trebuchets. Yeah. But One Wolfham has finally found out the concept of multiple military buildings, and now their military is doubling and tripling at an alarming rate. Arbalest can kill at least this trebuchet, but it's not a threat right now. I wonder how long it takes until One Wolfham decides they need to build a castle. This hill, I think, is going to be very contentious if someone decides to take it. This one too, actually. Castle on either of these hills with trebuchets behind it would be pretty awful for the opponent. Getting scorpions, okay. I like scorpions. I don't really know if it's good in this comp. I think that Palmat has the better military, but we're not really moving them. We're just kind of sending them in, and because they're against counter units, they're dying. I'm guessing Georgians don't get Paladin? Yeah. Okay, good. Poke the opponent, see what they're doing. Now that being said, Palmat is expanding. One Wolfham is slightly. We've got 2,400 gold on the map after these 2 piles are worn out. Yeah, don't repair this, just build a new one. Another frustrating thing that I'm noticing is that we're very focused on the front here. If we had considered going and attacking the sides, we'd see this, these 3 or 4 barracks in the siege workshops, and we could take those out pretty easily. Okay, now this is starting to look like a Byzantine army. Again, I'm not a big fan of camels because I think that halberdier can ultimately overcome the benefit of camels, but I like ranged units, so backing up, in my opinion, backing up Arbalest with halberdier and just moving slowly is easier than managing camels and Arbalest at the same time. This is going to be interesting. I like the transition from gold to an immediate mill and more farms. Very good. This is a lot of villagers, 26 villagers just hanging out over there. These trebuchets are going to die. But so is Blue's army. See, once these Arbalists are left alone for even a moment, they can slaughter things, but I'm starting to think that One Wolfham doesn't actually have ballistics in spite of what that university might look like. Can't tell. Oh no, they do, I think. Projectiles are definitely moving. And this is why I like to close out games as Byzantines with Arbalists, because if you can keep them on the back line with counter units in front of them, they will persist in a very dangerous manner. We're sending in the boys. I don't like that because this is the only thing keeping our Arbalists alive. These might not have ballistics. Dennis would know. He'd know instantly. GG from Palmat. Okay. Palmat, I think you could have won this. I think that both of these players got tunnel vision, and unfortunately you were punching a Byzantine player with a unit that could be countered. Hard to do. I liked the cap ram approach after I thought about it, but I think that they needed to launch a surprise attack over here and start knocking down buildings. We had a very mobile unit comp the entire time, but we weren't really using it. We were ramming our head over and over again into a counter unit that was winning. One Wolfham, multiple military buildings. If you're, especially if you're playing as Byzantines, having one barracks streaming out halberdier, not good enough. You get cheaper halberdier. That means you can click 15 of them at one go, build 3 barracks, and they will come out and be a genuine force to be reckoned with. We did figure it out in the end, and we had some very slow transitions, but we were making the right calls. The castle fight was very good. We saw you click 15 petards in a second. That was awesome. Palmat, you defended this initial attack from One Wolfham very well. The split attention between the attack and the defense was definitely a mistake. I think I would have preferred to have seen you rally, defend, and then attack. And then the other problem was we committed to a singular unit comp against a Byzantine player, and then we didn't give them something else to focus on. We were focused purely on the front, and the Byzantine player has every advantage in that situation. They can reinforce this position with towers, with castles, with siege, with counter units over and over and over again until you get exhausted. And that's exactly what this was going to come down to eventually, based on that tactic. But I like what we saw here. We did see some reactions. We saw relics. I like the planning for the later game. Would have liked to see the monks contribute. Monks being able to heal up your units really make raiding with those Manaspa and those Cavalier very beneficial, because those are such valuable units, and just to have them thrown away into pikemen sucks, or halberdier. Other than that, that's it. That's game 1 to One Wolfham. The Wunderkind takes it for the King of the Losers bracket. We're going to pause and we're going to move on to game 2. Okay, and we're here, and I'm a professional, and I absolutely hit start recording way too early. We're on bypass, and One Wolfham is playing the melee. Now, I'm not saying that means we're going to see elephants. I am, however, saying that it means that I'm looking at my clock and I might be regretting my life choices. Because the last time that we saw the last time it was actually quite short. The first time it was quite long. So, hopefully I'm not in for a 2-hour game again. But, expect to see elephants from the Khmer. I don't know what the Khmer has. Civ. Why can't you guys just keep playing Byzantines? Oh, because that's against the rules. Right. Okay, Khmer, what can you do? Cavalry and siege. No buildings required. Cool. Farms don't require mills. That's cool. Villagers can garrison houses. Battle elephants are faster. Ballista elephants are a mounted scorpion with high HP. Tusk swords means their battle elephants get +3 attack. Double crossbows. Ballista elephants and scorpions fire 2 projectiles. Scorpions have +1 range. Now, if the ballista elephant is a mounted scorpion, is it an elephant unit or is it a scorpion? Do they get a bonus from scorpions +1 range? I feel like we're going to start seeing some trunks thunk in about 30 minutes. And Dennis is going to be upset that he missed the only elephant on elephant fight in all of Hidden Community Cup. I'm going to take a moment in this Dark Age on a closed map because that I can, and there's not a whole lot going on at the moment. We are seeing some scouting, some very early out of there. Could this be a lame attempt? Blues. Wonder if we're going to see a lane. I'm going to try and keep an eye on that. But meanwhile, I'm going to do a shout out. Thank you, T90. You're the reason I play this game. You're the reason I cast this game. You're the reason I'm casting this tournament. You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much to Dizzy. You are a psychopath. Welsh people don't need sleep, apparently, who has cast, I think, hundreds of hours of Hidden Community Cup at this point, and you don't even play the game. You're incredible, and I wish I had the amount of free time that you did to do that. No judgment. Fill your time how you like, but it's really cool to see you filling it doing this. And I realize my statement to T90 sounded rude. I am developing a bit of a migraine, so I'm going to recant that and restate it. T90, you're awesome. I mean it. You're the reason I'm here. You're the reason Dennis and I are here, not just because you're running the tournament. You're an inspiration to everybody. And I think that you genuinely seem like a pretty awesome guy. And you host cool tournaments that are very silly. And, you know, let us live our fantasies of being masked, unknown dictators, apparently. Because I heard that there was a moment of finding out who Celine the Grim really was. Which is funny. Okay, so we've circumnavigated the base for red. Blue is also up to no good. Oh, man. We have orphan sheep. Dizzy also likes to watch Zebra instead of casting combat. Oh, Borple. Good Borple, I think. Yeah, hey, good Borple. Probably should have refilled my water since it's going to be another 2-hour-long game. Hey, this works out though. Now when people are asking me where the King of the Losers bracket is, I can just tell them that you guys played super long games and it took a while. I didn't see any deer or any goats out here for blue. Did they just grab them very quickly? Okay. A lot of idle time for those villagers. That's okay. Did we lose a vill? No. Okay. Okay, so Khmer. You don't have to build the buildings to go up to the next thing. So I'm imagining we're gonna skip the barracks. It's a closed map. I feel like skipping the barracks is fine until, you know, stable units come marching. Trotting? Charging. Charging. Yeah, we'll go with charging. 19 Vil, Feudal Age for Khmer. Okay. I'm imagining we're going to go past 19 to go to 22, I think is how you do the Malay thing. I've heard Dennis talk about this a couple times, but instead we're just kind of idling. We're waiting for that 500 food. Unfortunate, but... One Wolf Fam, I'm going to be honest, if you can nail this Dark Age, you're going to be an insane player. Your end of... Something with your build order is out of whack, because... It's, okay, never mind, we're just going to ignore Feudal Age and stay in Dark Age forever, that's fine. But something about your build orders is clearly a little out of whack. You keep showing up to go to Feudal Age with like 450. There's some transition that's not quite working out. Whatever build order you're following, check it, make sure it's good. Maybe have a higher elo player, not me, please, review it. And I'm sure if you reach out to the Hidden Community Cup Discord, you'll find somebody. But there's something about this build order that's not quite meshing. We're going straight to gold. And once again, Powmat finds themselves in Feudal Age with no wood. It's not a position I like being in. I'm definitely the more aggressive player. I don't like closed maps for this reason. I don't I don't like showing up to feudal age with no wood. That naturally spooks me. This whole time while you're in feudal age, I'm thinking about the scout rush that is going to appear the second I hear feudal age bells from my opponent. Okay. How do you defend against the scout rush? Rush your opponent. One scout. Okay, that's a little excessive. One Wolf Fam wants to close this gap. If that's not a sure sign that we're gonna see elephants, I don't know what is. Brilliant house wall from our Wunderkind. Okay, all right. See, I was an absolute chatterbox for game one, and then they put me in a closed map, and now I don't know what the hell to talk about. Stable for a blue player. Okay. Palmat, I'm going to give you the same advice. I think there's something about this build order that you're following that is clearly not meshing. We're showing up to feudal with 40 wood, and then we're researching double bit axe and horse collar, which is fine, but we don't have wood to build this stable. If you're going up to feudal age smoothly, you should have enough to at least start building the stable, and then get your feudal age upgrades for your eco. If you want to go army on a closed map, that's fine. It definitely works, especially on bypass. But we gotta figure out how to get that stable immediately, like as soon as we get up to feudal age. Something about this isn't clicking. I can't tell what it is. I'm not good enough at this game. This is the most determined scout of all time. Imagine if, after you finally destroy this mighty palisade wall, there is but a clone behind it. What will you do then, Mr. Blue Scout? You'll attack it. Good. Got some eco balancing for a red player to get up to castle age. Not quite a fast castle, but close enough. Barracks is a little odd. Maybe that was in response to the one-man scout rush. What is this? One Wolf Fam. What is this? Villager convention? What are they, unionizing? Come on. What are we doing here? We're eco balancing more. Building a stable. Okay. I like that One Will Fam is building their impact buildings away from the gate now that we know that it's under threat. Is this villager locked in? We have built a second house on top of that palisade, so I like that. This is killing me. You know what? Dennis isn't here to tell me not to, so I'm going to do it anyway. Guys, there's a hotkey that you can bind to select all idle villagers. It will select every idle villager on the map at the same time, and you will be able to just hit your spacebar and send them all to chop wood. It is a lifesaver. Guaranteed your elo will go up at least 1 point. Meanwhile, Red Scout is doing something. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. I think maybe we're waiting for the scout rush that never came. What is this? Palmat, what are you doing? Why? We're thinking knights, I guess, with our two gold miners. And there's the boys. Well, I mean, okay. Not yet. Can't see the boys yet. Is Palmat's plan to out-elephant spam One Will Fam? Because if that's the case, I wish I had made coffee. I like the archery range. I'm not sure. Maybe we're just covering the bases since we don't know what our opponent's on. That's fine. Frankly, at this point, I'd consider building a couple scouts and just setting them around to knock on this gate. Give our opponent something to do since we're hemmed up in here. Let's see, when is this guy gonna kill this house? Sometime in Castle Age. Get it? Because he's in Castle Age now. And we're off. We are building... Hang on. Wait a minute. Is that the Malays thing? No. Wait, we've been in Castle Age, right? Am I crazy? Docks, Force Levy, battle elephants cost... Yeah, their battle elephants are cheaper. Okay. Yeah, their battle elephants are cheaper. They don't get them early. God, elephants in feudal age would be insane. I really hope nobody has that or I'm gonna feel really stupid. Okay, 28 villagers, 26, cool. 6 battle elephants versus 2. And here come the boys. I would love to see One Will Fam delete this house. What is the response from? Good, very good. Thunk, thunk, and dead. Okay, cool. Now what? What do you do when you see your competitors? Yeah, here we go. It's a meeting of the pachyderms. Retreat, okay. Now, One Will Fam's economy is zooming. We've got 1,000 resources higher than our opponent. Now that we see our opponent's also on elephants, we are immediately getting halberdier, like that, or pikemen to back them up. I'm inheriting Dennis's psychosis. I don't know who wins in a fight. So, okay, I have to look at this now. Battle elephants are cheaper for Malay, but better for Khmer, I think is the idea here. Battle elephants move faster. They're 10% faster. And they get tech upgrades. Okay. So they have to get there. They don't have a castle, so they can't build. Look at that quick wall. Oh no. Oh man. Okay, I got really excited for a hole. Thunk. Thunk. No, hit the stable. You gotta hit the stable. You know your opponent's on battle elephants. You gotta hit the stable. Okay, we have no expansion out to the side. I feel like this... I don't know. I don't play bypass, so I feel like I would be very quick to do that, probably improperly. But I feel like when I see 12 elephants marching onto my face, I'm going to immediately decide that I want to make a new face somewhere else. Yeah, hit these stables. Or kill villagers if they're going to stand there and let you, yeah. If you kill the mill, these farms are useless. This is one thing that I've noticed about every time One Will Fam has interacted with the elephant units, is they seem very choosy about their targets, and I think it's better to just knock buildings down. I think we can kill this. Maybe not? I don't know. We've got pikemen to back us up, so that's good. I think we're gonna see several units die, but I do think this town center is going down, and we don't really see much of a response from Powmat as to what to do after this TC goes down. We could sneak all of these gold villagers out very easily. So, if I remember correctly, Spirit of the Law has a video on this, I'm sure Dennis would probably know, maybe he'll say so in the comments or pop up one of his helpful little things. If I recall correctly, repairing a town center costs extra. Yeah, we can't handle the thunk thunk. The tower is interesting. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. I'm assuming not well. Mainly because the elephants can just go to the other side of the town center. There we go. Now the tower is not a problem. Now we are bleeding these elephants. Like there were 12, now there's 8. These units are not cheap, and unfortunately One Wolf Fam has completely stopped their economy. We're sitting at 14 minutes of idle TC time. And that's a GG from Palmat. Thank you guys for not carrying that out for 2 hours. Palmat, what you needed to do there, though, is you needed to carry this game out for 2 hours. You need to evacuate this base. You need to set up an auxiliary base there. There were definitely some opportunities to have maybe walled this up more with the stone wall to buy yourself a little bit more time. I think once you see that your opponent is on elephants and they have greater numbers than you, you stop building elephants, you start building pikemen. Maybe pikemen with elephants, but this was, I think, simply a player who had a plan versus a player who maybe had an idea, if that makes sense. I think Khmer could have won this out in the Elephant Wars eventually, but it wasn't going to happen easily, and it wasn't going to happen until at least late Castle Age. And we had to survive till then, and we needed a much more robust economy to get there. Otherwise, good game. We're going on to game 2. Oh, hang on. I lied. I should critique One Wolf Fam as well. One Wolf Fam, I like the elephants. It's a good strategy. It's probably not good in upper elos, but for where you are right now, it's cool to see. But, you know what'll make it even better? This building right here can produce villagers. And it can produce more than 26 villagers. And if we can do that, we can build more elephants. And in building more elephants, we can send in more elephants to fight. And with more elephants and more villagers, we can do this every single time. I am all about elephants on bypass, but we need villagers to support them. Support your local elephants. Build villagers. Game 2 goes to One Wolf Fam, and we're on to game 3. And we're back for game 3, and we're once again playing civs that I don't know anything about. We've got Palmat as the blue, as the Romans, against One Wolf Fam in the red as the Hindustanis on Pokeball, or Quarry. Quarry is what this is actually called. Okay, One Wolf Fam, you're out of the tournament, and so now I can nitpick everything you do. Stop doing this. These houses do not matter at the moment that the game starts, because we don't actually need them, because they're not producing anything. They're allowing pop space for future villagers. What we need is villagers. The first action that you do every single game needs to be queuing up villagers. Once you've queued up villagers, grab your villagers, build up your houses. In the time it takes those villagers to build, you will have built your houses, and now the population ceiling will rise, and you will no longer have that worry. Build villagers first. That necessitates the need for an increase of population size, which is fulfilled by the houses. You're putting the cart in front of the horse. Let's fix that. We are immediately on a lumber camp on the side. I think I would also do this on this map. Okay, we're being very disciplined with our sheep. Let's see if that continues now that we got a new group coming in for Palmat. I like the Romans. I don't know. So I'm going to take this moment to glance at them real quick. We're going to read off the civ tree because I'm sure you guys love that. It's great content, right? Camel and gunpowder. Villagers are cheaper. Camel riders are faster. Gunpowders have armor. Can build a caravanserai. Caravanserai. I've never said that on cast while reading it, and it's a complicated word. Oh, the Gulam, that's these guys. Okay, Imperial Camel Rider, Camel Upgrade, Unique Text, Grand Trunk Road. Income is faster. Shatagni, the hand cannoneer, gets extra range, and their light cavalry and camel units get +2 attack versus standard buildings. Okay, Hindustanis actually sound kind of cool. So I'm not... what the play is here. Maybe hand cannons in late game for One Wolf Fam? But you gotta get there, though, right? And I don't even know, like, I know hand cannons are anti-infantry, but that armor is nuts, right? We're already thinking about walling up the center, which I like. It seems to be the common practice for everybody on this map. We're gonna push deer? No? Okay. As I said before, though, thanks to everybody. Thank you, Dizzy, for inviting me onto your cast at one point. Thank you, Dizzy, for just casting this whole tournament and then giving us a shout out all the time. Thank you, T90, for hosting the tournament and just generally, you know, doing great things. Thank you to every single individual player who played in Jean Bureau and then decided on their own accord to create a losers bracket just to give us more content to cast and just to keep playing and have fun. I love casting the low elo brackets. It's something I want to continue to do, and it's been great. Like I play this to see a trajectory, to see an arc from the players, to see like where you guys are at when you're starting out and where you guys are at when you're done. And the arc so far has okay. Palmat, I'm starting to notice the problem here. This is the problem. We have tons of food income, and we need more woodcutters. I think if I remember correctly, you want to make 5 or 6, go to food, and then, or sorry, you want to make 6, go to food, then start throwing woodcutters. That way your wood economy will catch up with your food economy at the end and allow you to build stuff into feudal age. I interrupted myself, but thank you to every single player who's here and who has worked hard and practiced and tried their best and played out as many sets as they can. And dealt with the awkwardness of, I'm sure, the first tournament woes of time zones and weird schedules, especially with the 2 international players that we have from Skit Vibe and DHR being on the other side of the world. To some of you, I know exactly how hard that is. It's not fun, but you guys made it work, and it's very cool to see. This is a great game, and I get that we all like the pro scene and we like following the pro scene. I like following the low elo legends because this is where it starts. And in, 2000 elo, maybe we'll see Palmat and One Will Fam come back and be like, wow, I can't believe I used to play like that. I do this now, and it's better. And then maybe they're hosting their own tournament. That'd be really cool to see. The point is, Age of Empires 2 is a really cool game. What is this? One Will Fam? Now, okay, there's a mill there. It's not... It's very hard to correct this. I think that I would maybe send 4 villagers, if I remember correctly. 4 villagers kill a deer and harvest everything without any extra being left over, so they can get it in one trip. But this is too far. I don't mind getting these deer out, but I think we need to push them with scouts or drop a mill in the middle. I don't know. I don't even know if you can build on here. I think it just takes extra damage. More idle time. Okay, it's fine. Okay, now we've got 140 wood for Palmat. En route to feudal age. Got a barracks, and there goes all of our wood. Alright, I'm going to be a little mean here. We're going to start a counter. The second we hit feudal age, I'm going to look at the clock, and we're going to judge how long it takes to see Palmat build a second military building. I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just trying to prove a point. Something about this build order is not flying. Okay, so we're 1050. Okay, we can build a second military building. Are we going to? Okay, hey, there it is. Oh, okay, blacksmith. That was, okay. Maybe we're going into a fast castle. I want to see what this plan is. Okay, blacksmith into horse collar, into double bit axe, into man at arms. Okay, so we're thinking infantry spam. Cool. Where's your gold? You need gold. There's the gold. Okay. Now our opponent might see this. I don't hate this. This is better than the previous 2 games because this clearly is the goal, is to spam infantry. Again, we can tighten this up a little bit. We would have liked to have seen this mine camp up in Dark Age. And again, if we had earlier lumberjacks, that would have been more easily achievable. Because now we have man-at-arms researched, we have blacksmith built, we have Gold mining is not something that I see many people research until late feudal age, even waiting so far as to the transition point for castle age. But again, I'm not a pro, I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's what I see. I think that this is kind of resulting in the same thing, in that we have kind of a slowdown because of some kind of inefficiency early on. So something to think about. Meanwhile, tons of farms for the Wunderkind. 6 gold miners. This is bothering me just because these guys have to take a long trip to get back and forth to this deer, and there's only 2 of them. This deer is rotting away while they're walking because they have to walk all the way back to that mill and then all the way back to the deer. And in that time, that deer is going to lose a lot of food. So I think 4 villagers is what you need to take out an entire deer in one sitting. That would be preferred. Okay, we're going spearmen and man-at-arms. It's going to be pricey. But I like it provided we show some restraint, which looks like we are so far. But meanwhile, our opponent is nearly to castle age. Maybe not if they still need the 2 buildings, but should be shortly. Okay, the Hindustanis get the elephant siege workshop units, but not the stable. Okay. Sorry, I was doing some stealthy research. Because I don't know civs. I'm so bad. That's a dead villager. Reasonably certain this one might be too. The man goes to help his wife and doesn't see the 3 guys behind him. That was unfortunate, but dramatic, and I like it. For the story. Cool. Okay, so we really want to finish up this wall up, but I like that we're trying to get map control by way of attacking. One Wolfam has hit Castle Age. This is the negative direction of where they want to go. There we go. Well done. Yeah, we need to have some kind of response for this gold camp. You can see the scout. Yes, we can. Well, I mean, it kind of worked out because the scout didn't get involved. We now have some idle time brewing for those villagers because they're garrisoned, but that's fine. This is definitely probably the weakest target for Palmat to go after at the moment, so it's better here than the lumber camp, but it is still kind of annoying. Now, I don't know if... Yeah, okay, that was maybe a misclick with that on garrison. I think we might be transitioning them to another gold pile, or maybe to the lumber camp, until we figure out what we need to do. That being said, we are building archers on top of that, which is the correct response. I like to see that. 4 archers, and then start building a blacksmith on top of it would be cool. I think would be best. Market, and what are you? Another barracks. Okay. So we're thinking infantry spam is the way to go. Now it is unfortunate that we targeted a mining camp when our opponent is already en route to Castle Age, which we will see shortly, which means this attack has kind of so far netted us 2 dead villagers, and I think that's about it. We do need a micro. We know one with help can micro. Again, their micro is a little slow, but they can do it. There we go. But the man-at-arms are continuing to stream in. I think if you're going to go for this kind of build, Palmat, we really want to be we want to get those select all buildings hotkeys, so like select all barracks and just keep hitting it. Select all barracks, Q, 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 Q. If you're gonna put your foot on the gas, you want to be able to lean on it. Now this is interesting. Here we go. Now, this is always a tricky situation. It's how to retreat from this without microing, because there is a point where this is correct, because you want to get these two new archers. You want these weak crossbowmen to join up with good crossbowmen who are fresh. We can do that by microing, but it does require a lot of concentration. But the idea is that in the time they're walking around, we could have built 2 or 3 more crossbowmen, and we would have been able to respond and overwhelm this opponent. Okay. Okay, we are finishing up the wall up. We've got an archery range to deal with those pesky crossbowmen over there. I'm curious if we're going to see Palmat come around this corner. I think that's what I would want to do, especially as the Romans start pushing with some scorpions. Be very cool to see. 3 archery ranges. Okay, Palmat. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but you are, I would say, a bit overcommitted to the counter unit. It's very difficult to think about, but when your economy isn't soaring and we're only managing 30 to 60 villagers a game, the temptation to build heaps of military buildings early is difficult, because it's good to have multiple military buildings, especially when you're trying to counter your opponent. But the idea is, if you can't produce from all of them simultaneously, it's wasted resources and wasted villager time. It's better to get your economy in order so that you can start really hammering that military force home. So I think two archery ranges at this time would be sufficient. Then maybe use the extra wood for that other archery range for a 3rd TC, perhaps on this stone or this gold, to really start building up that enterprising economy, to then be able to afford that 2nd and 3rd archery range. Meanwhile, over here, I like this town center. It's gonna cover this wood line and the gold pretty well, and it gives us a good sight line in case our opponent decides to do something frisky over here. I like the house outpost, the house posts, if you will. I don't like these farms. We need many more farms here. Okay, our blue opponent is on stone. Good to see. I'm not sure if we close this out with a castle drop, but it's very common. So I wouldn't be shocked. I guess you could put it right here. That would be pretty devastating. But I don't know if it's necessary. I know the Centurion's a really cool unit, but what is the Hindustani up to? Okay, we are making more farms. It's cool. We got long swordsmen coming up. Stable. I'm not entirely sure for what. Maybe just a scout. Totally valid if it is. Okay. I like the siege workshop, but I'm concerned because we don't have a unit to support what comes out of there. Mangonels could be good, but we need something to keep that mangonel alive. There's a hole on this market. Is there? Yeah, it's gotta be. There's one right there. One Wolf fam, is there something you'd like to tell us? Did you accidentally open up Age of Empires 2 when you meant to pull up Cabela's Big Hunt? Okay, now we know what our opponent's up to. They clearly have map control in the middle. We've got skirmishers that are elite. We've got long swordsmen. Now what do? Build more villagers, which is good. We should have done that earlier, but that's fine. We're realizing that mistake and we're fixing it now. It's good to see. Why did we build this siege workshop? What comes out of here? That is the deadest long swordsman ever, eventually. But man. Whew, the mob. Sorry about the transition there. Okay, Palmat's doing Palmat things. A little bit of a kitchen sink. We're going into Scorpions. I don't know why I said kitchen sink. He's Romans. We know exactly what he's doing. Or she. More villagers from Palmat. More villagers from One Will Fam. We're transitioning our wood choppers over here. It's good to see. Like it. I love this map control from Palmat. This is really cool. It also really helps reinforce the idea of cracking this open and going this way. We can keep an eye over here. We know we don't necessarily have to defend this position. We can just go around if we want. We're creating ballistics, which Roman Scorpions do benefit from, I believe. Yep, benefit from ballistics research. They cost less gold. Yeah, these Scorpions are going to be nuts. Okay. Now, passive is not the right call, but yeah, I had a feeling we were waiting for the castle. And that's fine. This is fine. It threatens a lot, but we can wait for a castle while doing things with our opponent. We can send in some long swordsmen to raid a wood line to investigate this scenario over here. We can back them up with Scorpions to really annoy our opponent. Reminder that Scorpions fire a piercing shot that is absolutely devastating to farmers, because farmers tend to be standing in nice little clumps. It's really powerful. And by attacking, it kind of defends this castle by itself. Now, for One Will Fam, I don't really understand the Armored Elephant. As far as I know, it's a siege unit. I believe it's a unique siege unit. Or no, it's a regional siege unit. I'm not sure what it does here. But that being said, again, I think we're clicking Imperial Age too early. I would rather see maybe a bit of a defined economy going towards a goal before we're clicking Imperial Age. If our goal is to just greed all the way up to Imperial Age and then build something, my question is, what could we have been building this whole time? Okay, I like the counter castle, but it's a little too late. This blue castle is on a hill. I like the wall up behind this castle. It's very good to see. Oh, that's unfortunate. We lost enough stone to not be able to afford a replacement castle for the one we just deleted. Okay, we're getting ballistas, which is the faster firing Scorpions. We haven't really seen the Scorpions yet. There they come. Let's build a siege workshop closer. Okay. I don't like this castle. It's not defending our base. It needs to be, I would say, over here beside the market, maybe. We are about to be an Imperial Age. Our opponent's very clearly not. So we would have the trebuchet advantage. I don't really know if this is doing it, though. It's a very passive response from Palmat. Or, sorry, from One Will Fam. Scorpions are finally getting out there. I like that we built the siege workshop on the front to reinforce that position. We've got 9 Scorpions in the queue. That's great. This is very clearly a player with a plan. We are letting our opponent kind of get hemmed into this corner. I'm not sure what the Siege Workshop is for. Are we gonna do Scorpions against the infantry? Which is fine, but like these guys are gonna hurt. Good wallop, but there's a hole. Good wallop. Good attempt at a wallop, but there's a hole. Okay. It kind of worked out. Okay, now it did work out, but this is gonna hurt. Oh, man. That's a juicy target. And we're going hand cannon here. Okay, so the plan was all along to go up to Imperial Age to get hand cannon here. I had a suspicion, I mentioned it earlier, but really, if that's the case, we needed to ramp up to fast Imperial Age as quickly as we could. I think that maybe we did do that, but I think there's definitely some inconsistencies there. And again, I'm not entirely sure I understand what the Siege Workshop's doing, unless they get Bombard Cannon, which I don't know. They do get Bombard Cannon, so maybe that's the call. Because Bombard Cannons could be very useful to snipe these Scorpions. But we need more archery ranges. If this is the call, we need groups of these guys, because these Scorpions are going to hurt. We've got lots of idle eco over here. Idle over here as well. We've got a TC that's not making villagers. Both of them, actually. And we're off gold. No, wait, we're on gold. Where are we on gold at? Oh, in here. Okay. Alright, I was not looking at the fight. Fight's on a building. It's fine. Oh, they're getting ranged by the castle. Okay. Getting murder holes? Sure, I guess. I'm not sure about this comp from One Will Fam. I like hand cannons. I think it's fine, but this is a lot of aggression, and I think maybe we're a little too slow here. Palmat really likes rams. I mean, I guess when you have 3 siege workshops, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I can't imagine Scorpions have much trouble with hand cannons. Yeah, wow. Well played, Palmat. That was very nice. I don't really have a lot of notes here for One Wolf or for Palmat. I do think that this is kind of an overinvestment. I think that if we had, I don't know. It's hard to say. You obviously won, so it worked, but I don't really understand the 3 archery ranges. I don't think we saw some skirmishers. Okay, maybe just in case. We did see crossbowmen earlier, so maybe that was the correct call. But I think this was an overinvestment that delayed our Imperial Age. But again, it's hard to argue with results. As to One Will Fam, I think the goal was hand cannons all along, and I think it was a fine goal. I think we needed to really defend and ramp up as quickly as we could to Imperial Age. If that is what was attempted here, clearly it did not succeed. So clearly some fine-tuning to be made there. I think the response and the backing up was fine. I think it needed to be a little quicker, a little cleaner. But this was a very well executed plan by the Roman player, Palmat. So we're going to give him the blue dot, and we're moving on to game 4. And we're in game 4. We've got slopes. One Will Fam as the Portuguese in the red, and Palmat as the Huns in the blue. We're on Arabia plus. Arabia equal sign, because there's an equal sign in the middle. That's what we'll call it. Let's see. Portuguese, gunpowder, Fetorias, Huns, no houses, cavalry. Got it. See? I know this game. Sorry, being snarky on Discord. Let's see. This is why mankind has invented co-casters. Alright. Slopes bothers me. I hate small woodlines. They make me upset. They have to be babysat. They don't last long enough. I hate it. Got a minor sheep massacre in the red camp. How are we doing over in blue? Blue, we are very disciplined with the execution of our boar. But we are still not... I want to see this build order for Palmat, because this is actually starting to cause me stress. I don't think I've ever seen a build order that's so hardcore on food. Although I noticed that they're playing the Huns. Maybe that's the case. They don't really need food or wood since they're not building houses. Maybe that's it. Get the second boar. Scout for red's being active. Scout for blue is being active. Oh, it's the worst. I hate stubborn boars. Just come on. Come get eaten. Yeah, it messes up your timing. It's the worst. Okay, One Wolf Fam did have a bit of idle time there. I'm assuming to get their own boar. Okay. I actually did see Palmat queue up villagers while they were pulling that boar. That was good to see. Really good to see. Easy way to shave off time there. Alright, let's see. Hun. Portuguese do against Huns. I'm assuming the same thing they do against everybody at the silo, which is organ guns. Because cavalry archers. They got Tarkins, which are cool. I like the Portuguese here, but I'm worried that that's going to be too late of a game for One Wolf Fam to close it out. I feel like Palmat has shown a level of aggression that we'll be able to close out a Castle Age Huns game faster than a One Wolf Fam Portuguese Imperial Age game. That's my prediction, and I hope to be not necessarily wrong, but, you know, if I called it that accurately, I would be concerned. Maybe my migraine is giving me superpowers. Okay, we've got Loom for the blue player. What happened with One Wolf Fam? How are we 2 villagers behind? Bad idle time from a bad boar pull, maybe? No? Did we just forget about villagers? Or did we get Loom early? Ah, come here. It does not look like we got Loom early. No, wait, did we? Yeah. We have armor? You have armor. 1 armor, 2 armor. 1 armor, 2 armor. 40 HP. Okay, so I guess we did get Loom, I think. Loom even do? Just look it up. Loom. Villagers have extra HP and +1/+2 armor. Okay, cool. So yes, they got Loom instead. Very early. Blue is en route to Feudal Age. Red is not close to it yet. We want to start smacking that A button to drop off this food. We've got 82. That's enough to get us up there. And And we're slow going it, or no, we dropped it off. Okay, just slow hit the button. Okay, we're seeing blue with wood today. We didn't have to build houses, so that's cool. I would prefer to see that barracks up a little earlier than now. Maybe 30 seconds ago. Because now we can't build a stable. I'm scared of these players when they really start drilling their Dark Age. Once they start dialing in that efficiency in the beginning, all of these players in the John Bureau bracket are going to jump 200 elo. It's going to be nuts. If T90 were to call a Hidden Cup Community Cup 2 next month, 2 months from now, I would be willing to bet that I would not cast a single one of these players again because they would not be in the lowest elo bracket anymore. That's the level of trajectory that I think we're seeing here. I'm seeing the little tiny things start paying off. But I am very curious about the Huns strategy right now, because this is a Huns player that's not being aggressive. And that seems historically inaccurate. Really good reaction though. Whoa. Those villagers are spicy. Sorry about the dogs. This stream is brought to you by dogs. Market. Blacksmith, okay. So we're trying to not quite fast castle it, but get up there good and quick. Do we have enough food remaining? I think so. Pretty close to it at least. Okay, there's the barracks. Would have been nicer earlier because then we could start streaming scouts into the economy. Scout just hates barracks. I don't know what to say. Okay, we're getting to him. Wheelbarrow this early, okay. Is Powmat the one that did that a few times? Might be. Not sure, that could have just been housed that I didn't. No, they can't be housed, they're Huns. Okay, we've got Castle Age already en route, and we're going to a stone pile. Generally a pretty solid indication that the wheeled cannons of doom are en route. I guess that could apply to a few units now. The organ guns are the ones that I'm talking about. Okay, archery range. We are going onto gold mine, so maybe cavalry archers is the thought process. Which does explain the lack of military early. It doesn't really explain the stable, but that's fine. Stable's good to have. It can help protect our cavalry archers when they are not yet massed. Alright. Now, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. We're going for 3 archery ranges very early on when our economy cannot quite handle it. We've got 29 villagers and only 4 gold miners. So there's a lot of production concept that we can't afford at the moment. It's a very generic town center. Maybe slap it up against the wood, against the stone, or against the food. One of those items, we will get faster turn-in times for villagers, and that'll be just a better, stronger economy. One Wolfham does like to climb the ages very quickly, I'm noticing. Sometimes I believe to their detriment. Sorry guys, this is a passive game. I'm running out of things to talk about. These best of fives are brutal. For me, coming up with these little canned air bits that I can save for later games. I'm running out of material. Oh, hey, I didn't think the admins. Thanks admins, our base and all the admins for running the tournament. There you go. There's a canned air bit. Appreciate it, everybody. Our base good guy. Spoken to him a few times about the wonders of the Jean Bureau bracket, and it's been really fun. This wacky thing called Hidden Community Cup would not happen without our base and his admin staff at all. Very purposeful wall-ups here from both players. I like that a lot. Not fast by any means, but we're both being very passive. So I'll be honest, if I was up against a Huns player, this would already be fully walled. I'm very nervous about Huns players because the lack of houses pretty much means that you have to have map control in order to maintain a defensive. So we've got 1.5k resources lead for the Huns player. Seven times 30, so it'd be 210 wood saved by the Huns, I think. This is a awkward castle. It's very central, which is good ultimately, but I think that we could move forward, but we can't do that because we haven't really scouted our opponent, unfortunately. Unless this is an organ gun generator, in which case this is fine. I'm assuming it's an organ gun generator, but why not put it on their face as well? Now, I'm not sure how cavalry archers do against organ guns. I don't think very well, to be honest. Now, I would love to see these guys drop a town center right behind this and continue to expand and develop this center location. Or a mining camp. That'd also be fine. Yeah, this is a lack of scouting on both sides in the extreme. This game became very passive, which I get it. It's game 4. These guys are tired. I'm tired. It is a... I remember earlier today I was in Dizzy's cast and they were discussing the sheer difference between game 3s and game 4s of just the little things start to unravel. The things you've got down for games 1 and 2 you just do not think about for game 3 or game 4 or game 5. Now I'm curious if these villagers are going to focus the stone down, which would get a second castle. Ooh, that's unfortunate. We kind of showed our hand there, and this is definitely enough cavalry archers to make that organ gun go away, even underneath a castle. Interesting. I wouldn't have expected wood to be the priority here. Garrison, garrison. Protect the boom boom gun. Okay, good. Now we know there's a castle on our face. We're walling up, potentially. Unfortunately, organ guns are primarily strong when massed, so we definitely want to see as many of these guys come out as quickly as possible. I think this would necessitate bringing all of these guys onto stone to build a second source of organ guns, if that is the play that we decide to make. But right now, unfortunately, these guys are going to get a lot of value out of this undefended farmland. Even if that value is idle time, it's still going to help them, especially with being as mobile as they are. But One Wolf Fam does not care. We're going to attack anyway. Okay. Yeah, I really think these villagers should transition to stone quickly to just commit to this composition. Maybe so that we could afford a defensive castle over here once these cavalry archers leave. Are we splitting them up? That's cool. I like to see that. Okay, stable for scouts, I'm guessing. Okay, we are building a siege workshop. We know mangonels counter the organ guns. We also defended that siege workshop by building it on the back line. I like that a lot, actually. It's very good to see from Palmat. The cavalry archers have thus far gone unresponded to, but they are attacking non-priority targets, so they can kind of be ignored at this moment. These guys, however, cannot. I think I would mass up 1 or 2 more mangonels, let them take this archery range, maybe research a tech or something in it, and then surprise attack. That's my thought. Yeah, throw these guys on stand ground and bring them up very close to that gold mine. So meanwhile, One Will Fam's people are starving. In a university? I'm guessing we did reveal the mangonels. There we go. I'm gonna bring villagers closer to heal them. Or do monks heal these guys? I can never remember. Right now, I think, unfortunately, with the targets that Palmat is choosing, I kind of give the edge here to One Will Fam, but I don't know. This is a lot of enemy in my base, but even One Will Fam is starting to notice that they're not really targeting necessary components. Tell me this is another archery range. Okay, beautiful. Well done, Palmat. You are a comedian. Palmat is heading up to Imperial Age. One Will Fam will probably not see Imperial Age based on the food income that we're seeing this game. Light Cav to raid? Okay. Give our opponent something else to focus on. Maybe draw out the ire of those cavalry archers. Yeah, I think if you're going to chase this strategy with something One Will Fam, it's got to be Imperial Age so that we can get Bombard Cannon or Trebuchet to really give this opponent something they can't ignore. And to snipe those pesky mangonels. Oh, the mangonels saw the light cav and headed right back in. These are completely unupgraded light cav. We've pulled the cavalry archers back. Actually, I think One Will Fam must have killed some of them because there's only 7 that I see, so something happened. I don't know what it was, maybe some town center shots. And we're back to building villagers. This is looking better for One Will Fam. But we've got several archery ranges pumping out cavalry archers. I'd like to start seeing replacement archery ranges at the back. One Will Fam has heaps of wood. We are selling it to Eco Balance to get up to Imperial Age. Good to see. The light cavalry are in. These cavalry archers should have no problem upping these guys up. Good micro from Palmat. I saw we had the university. I don't know if we got ballistics yet. I'm having a moment right now. Oh, yeah, ballistic Castle Age. I just had a migraine moment. Okay, we're going Imperial Age for One Will Fam. We're pressing in with the organ guns. Where'd those mangonels go? We're just hanging out by the town center. Okay. There's going to be a lot of cavalry archers coming soon, but I do think that these need to be replaced. That heavy cavalry archer did manage to go through, I think. Or no, it was canceled. Yeah, it was canceled. This is a very passive attack from One Will Fam. We need to reinforce this position. We're not just attack it. We're kind of allowing our opponent to mass up units behind this. Apparently organ guns destroy cavalry archers, so maybe it doesn't matter. We've got some cavalry archers at the back standing idle. There's the mangonels. We're pulling them back. Battering rams. Palmat sure does love battering rams. I like the light cav to raid, even if it is into cavalry archers that we're just able to kill them. But I prefer them to defend against the mangonels. If we had light cav, we could be a bit more risky with these organ guns, draw out those mangonels, and come in for a counterattack. Now we've got fully upgraded cavalry archers. Not fully upgraded, nearly fully upgraded. With archer ranges at the back and a defensive castle, I think we're going to start seeing some Tarkans to start doing some proper raiding. Not much of a response from One Will Fam. I pray these villagers haven't been holed up in there this whole time. Couldn't have been, because we were able to get up to Imperial Age, so I think they were farming at some point. Okay. Palmat hates mining camps. I don't know what else to say. I think this is swiftly exiting the grasp of One Will Fam. The 4 trebuchets are going to be fine, but they're going to die very quickly. Unfortunately, when we have 30 cavalry archers on the board, it's not going to matter. I still don't know if I ever saw ballistics, though. I'm not so sure about the battering rams. I don't really see what they contribute. I prefer to see more mangonels to just decimate those organ guns. Or onager, maybe. Oh, they don't get onager. I know that. I thought everybody got onager. Alright, is 48 enough, or are we going up to 200 pop? Nope. Another town center under raid from the cavalry archers. This is why the Huns are able to operate the way they are. They are an annoying civ. All of their units can just perpetually show up, leave, show up somewhere else. and just constantly. And nobody does it better, I don't think. We've got 54 cavalry archers with 10 more coming and 2 trebuchets. Now this is coming to the point of passivity from our blue player. At this point, we haven't seen a response from our opponent. Let's start moving out. We are. This is not, however, how we want to do it. We want to get these trebuchets into a singular position that doesn't block off our units so that we can reinforce those trebuchets. Where did those organ guns go? Okay, they were going down south to... Okay, I like what I just saw there. One Wolfam deleted the 2 trebuchets that were in queue to make way for the elite organ gun upgrade, but I don't think 9 organ guns are going to do much against 60 cavalry archers. Like, they're not Mangadai, but they're going to make short work of all of this very quickly. I imagine. Maybe not. Yeah, okay. That's about what I expected. And unfortunately, because this castle doesn't have fletching, I think these cavalry archers can range this castle, which is not something you see every day. Do they ram upgrades? You get ram upgrades, the Huns. Cavalier? What? Okay. One Wolfam, this is a strange game from you. I'm not sure what's going on here in terms of the thought process. I think Cavalier is far too expensive for the economy we have right now. And I don't know if I would want to start doing Cavalier when I see this much Cavalry Archer on the board. I think elite skirmishers and mangonels would do the trick. Maybe scorpions to an extent. Yeah, I think we unfortunately did not have a good response to that initial incursion from Powmat. We did not develop our economy enough to support the amount of military that we needed to fight this back. And then when we were given the opportunity is when our opponent did a counterattack and we were not able to further develop that economy or the military. So we had a plan, but it went stagnant. And that gave Powmat the win, I think. Well executed by Powmat. Again, a little efficiencies here. The 3 archery ranges in the beginning were, I think, a bit much, but it went into our game plan, so it worked. I think 1 or 2 on the front, more at the back, especially when we're already under attack, would have been better. You did have to build them eventually anyway. But really great way to kind of showcase balance of being aggressive, being annoying, being defensive, and then coming all together for a final big push with the Hunnic Horde. Well done. Really good game from Powmat. We move on to game 5. I'm a professional streamer. I didn't forget to hit the record button there or anything. Not at all. That wasn't me. Okay, we're on Gold Rush. With Powmat as the Goths in the blue, and One Wolfam is one of my favorites, the Vietnamese in the red. They got the cool little quirk where you can see the opponent's town center. And that may not seem like the most useful thing, because you know where it is, right? Or you know it's going to be there, and you know roughly where it is. But now we know for sure, and that's what keeps this guy alive. And that gives us valuable information around the town center without risk. That's very cool. Gold Rush is a weird map. It's very open. It's very center-centric. Lots of gold, lots of wolves. Very tricky map, I think. You can drop castles on there, but then that's what your opponent's going to be trying to do as well. This is definitely a map that tests balance for sure. I'm curious if we're going to see infantry spam from Goths. I would say I feel like if this Goth player, Powmat is going to be doing the... Yep, we're seeing this single lumberjack again. Okay. Yeah, I'm very curious about this build order. If you could share that with me, Powmat, that'd be really cool. I don't know if Goths win this by default, but I feel like if Goths are going to do Goth things, the Vietnamese player, if they're going to do Archer things, is definitely going. I do believe they get up to Cavalier, and they get elephants, so, or at least, yeah, they get battle elephants, so maybe that could help against the Huskarls. But I'm not sure. She is the lone woodchopper. She alone carries the economy of Powmat the Goth. Just kidding. It's just, I've never seen anything like it, and I want to know. I want to know more. Give me more. See, this is what happens. On the game 5, I start falling apart, right? Looks like a great boar pull from Powmat. I think that's 3 boar pulls, or 3 or 4 boar pulls in a row with no damage to your villagers. That's really cool to see. I can't do that. Yeah, wow, 1 hit. Very good. Whatever, we're going to see some deer pushing, because they're certainly very close to the TC here. Maybe more so for Powmat than One Will Fam. Okay, so as a rule, when you're trying to do your second boar pull, now this is the highest activity portion of Dark Age, so it's very tricky to be able to pour your bulls, continue queuing villagers, grab your other boar, and all that. When your boar is, I think, at 1/3 gone of food, so 2/3 remaining, is about when you want to have a new villager go grab your second boar. And the reason for that is because you will have a little bit of a decaying boar while you're killing the new one, and maybe a little bit of decaying boar while you're grabbing from the new one, but it should be very minor. It should be a very small amount. That's probably wrong. I don't know. That's what I was taught. It's what makes sense to me. And we have a sheep slaughter? Nope. Not entirely sure why we're going after the sheep. Okay, we are getting a boar with the new villager. I personally like to hoard my sheep a little bit. I like to have sheep over in early feudal age to help the transition to farms be less awkward. So I prefer managing boar or deer as much as I possibly can. Going to sheep secondary. Now, I talk smack about Powmat's lumber camps all day, but they do seem to be producing the result of an earlier feudal age. But again, it doesn't seem to come with a follow-up of what to do in feudal age. It's kind of like, okay guys, we got to feudal age, now what? Right now at this time, while the feudal age is ticking down, we need to be building our barracks, which is good. There we go. We've got our new house up and going. That's good to see. Went with a 20 villager start for this Goth play, so I'm curious what that's going to lead to. Maybe fast castle to get those Huskarls pumping. Good shift queue from the barracks to the wood to the house right there. I like that a lot. I also don't think I would be able to resist this gold being so close to my base, especially if we're planning on developing here as well. I think I would make the same call. Okay, feudal age, start the clock. 10:35. Horse collar, double bit axe. When will we see the first feudal age building? And man-at-arms again. Okay. I guess that's not surprising. Oh, we canceled man-at-arms. Perhaps Powmat forgot what civ they were playing, but I feel like man-at-arms is appropriate here. There's something very funny about a Gothic player hitting Loom as soon as their opponent gets the feudal age. Okay, barracks for one Wolfam. Also late, but passive. I think both these players maybe lost a little bit of steam in game 4 and 5, so we're kind of slowing things down a little bit, and that's okay. It's a marathon. I like that the barracks is kind of contributing to the potential wall up of this gold mine. Okay, we are going archers into Goths, which is always scary and tricky, so I'm curious as to how committed we are to that plan. And I just saw that the light on my microphone was red for a moment, so I really hope that all of this past has been recording. I think it was, because it was blue a second ago, I swear. We're doing some scouting in Feudal Age. I like to see that a lot. Do we see archery range? Okay, going man-at-arms into an archery range is kind of scary. The Huskarls are resistant to archer fire. The man-at-arms are not, and they will just get slaughtered. Second barracks. Goth player doing Goth player things. I think I would have saved the scout. I think the scouting information that guy could produce in the future is going to be more useful than hurting 1 or 2 villagers. Oh, well. Mother Nature is on the side of Powmat, apparently. Get some idle time for one Wolfam here. Could at least be chopping down a straggler tree, building houses, apparently. That was a panic house for sure. Down by 9 villagers with no eco kills. That's rough. Lots of idle time there for one Wolfam. Gotta tighten that up. Okay, we now see our opponent is on man-at-arms. Do we send the archers forward in response? This is a very awkward wall up. I'd prefer this to be buildings just for the sheer quantity of space that we're trying to cover, but maybe that will be this side. Not against it, just not so sure I like it. Wheelbarrow, again, very early for Powmat. I'm not sure when you're supposed to get wheelbarrow, but it feels pretty early. Heisu? Sorry. Now, if there's not a hole in this wall, which I don't think there is, but there might be, these archers sneaking in might be quite devastating. But not if they stop moving to fight a wall. There we go. I like that we're moving our archery range units forward. That's good, but we also need to make sure we're building villagers. This is a retreat scenario for these archers. we can double back with more units to produce a larger mass and get more kills more quickly. Where's this wolf at that's killing things? Okay, that worked out. We are transitioning the skirmishers. I imagine that was because we didn't have the resources to afford more archers. That's fine. But ultimately, I'm not a big fan of it. It can make microing a little messy and very awkward. Blue's already clicking Castle Age. This is a pretty focused play, I think. But unfortunately, this threat is not dealt with. We're going to stable, so knowing one will fam, I imagine we're going to see elephants. We need more villagers. Desperately. If our archers are getting our opponent off balance, we can then extrapolate that off balance, and we can expand upon it by reinforcing our own economy. A lot of things in early game is about displacing your opponent to make your advantage better. That can happen very easily if we continue to flow our economy. All it takes is building more villagers. That being said, this is pretty good assault from One Will Fam. We're already up to 3 eco kills. And while I think Palmat is leading in military kills, I think the value is there. Now, mixing scouts into the archers is fine. I think it's a great idea, but we don't want to do it too much because we're going to be stuck in feudal age forever, and we want to do it when we have a mass of archers. Especially when we know our opponent's already on 2 barracks and they can just start building spearmen. Because now they've got squires coming in, and that's going to make these archers a little less resilient. They're going to be a little more fragile. But we can still micro them down. Or not. This is definitely an instance where we want to pull our opponent off stone. This is actually really good aggression from Vietnamese. I think if I were playing, or from One Will Film, I think if I were playing Vietnamese in this situation, this would be my solution as well. This tower is a great idea, but it's in a very poor position, and these archers can ultimately just stand underneath it and functionally ignore it until reinforcements show up, and then they can link up with them and maybe lose 1 or 2 guys at best. Yeah. Tower play against archers is very tricky. It can work, but you usually need some semblance of military or more towers to back it up. We do have a military, and it does seem to be working, but notice that the tower is not contributing anything here. And we were able to bring our eco kills up to 9. Alright, we're sacrificing the rest of our military. I think that's ultimately fine. But we are sending in another detachment. Again, this is a small group of archers. We need to see a mass. But also putting the tower on stone is really gonna very clearly telegraph what we are up to. Again, we're a goth player. Everybody knows what we're doing. That's fine. Got a micro. Will we remember? The window to let these guys get hit is very narrow because of squires. And at that point, just run away. Because when you stop to target 1 long swordsman, the other 2 are going to continue to move forward to attack you. So you cannot outrun this while microing. This is why archers are so devastating in mass, because all of their units attack at the same time. So you can kill 1 at a time. Versus when you're outnumbered, it's better to just run away. And we are switching to the boys. I think that's the correct play. I do think, however, we need a very robust economy to do that, and I think we need to back those elephants up with archers for sure in the meantime before we start seeing Huskarls. But we need a very strong economy to do it, and we're already 8 villagers behind. We are transitioning units around, or villagers around, so that's good to see. I like this kind of wall up on the mining camp. I know it's not complete, but I like it. I think I already mentioned it. This town center is a little awkward. God, the wood lines on this map are dreadful. Okay, maybe a counterattack from Palmat. Be good to see. Don't know if the Goth economy is quite here yet for Huskarl spam. Is it? The build in barracks. Is that anarchy or is it? Yeah, okay, anarchy, which is the castle age. And then barracks is they work twice as fast. Okay. Or perfusion is they work twice as fast. Okay, we're building a second town center. That's great. That's going to let us climb the villager numbers, but we're already idling our first TC. Keep them operating. Select all TC button. I put it on my tilde key. Select your all TC. Click Q. Constantly, unceasingly. Let the villagers flow. Okay, we've got 8 partially upgraded, and we're getting our upgrade en route. That's good to see. Big fan of that. I don't know how battle elephants fare against swordsmen, to be honest. They do trample damage, so they're pretty great. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're definitely outnumbered, though. Okay, nice little fast wall. Can't call it a quick wall. For one wolf fam, that's cool. Getting handcart. Good to see. Eco upgrades for one wolf fam are non-existent. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. By game 5, you're tired. It's a lot. The little things start mattering more and more because we forget about them. This game is hard, and doing 5 games back to back is a lot harder than it sounds. Okay, I like the crossbow, but we're about to lose our archery range, surely. But imagine how impactful that crossbow upgrade if these 8 archers were already on the field. See? And we're not going to lose our archery range, so we definitely want to go back here with these 2 villagers or these 4 villagers and build another archer range back here to help flow out these counter units to deal with this problem. This is a very risky castle drop. These 8 long swordsmen could definitely make this very difficult. But they're determined to die under the town center, which is definitely a tactical decision. Oh, because we were busy microing our own villagers to come build our own castle drop? Okay. Unfortunately, the Vietnamese one will go up. Okay, good. Not the perfect reaction from One Wolf Fam, but a reaction and a winning reaction at the moment. We pulled 17 villagers forward to build this castle. We're going to build it right on the center to get the gold and deny it from our opponent. That's pretty good. I'll take that. I think this is still One Wolf Fam's game to win, but we really need to start rallying that economy. We're already 50% of our opponent's villagers. These 4 crossbowmen, 5 crossbowmen will not be enough to deny this, but we're not even looking at the map. There we go. We see them. You gotta get the heck out of here. This is not enough people. Yeah, pull them back. Pull it back. Don't lose your archers. These guys are precious. Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, even if they are very resistant to pierce damage, the Rattan archers will not last long. Okay, we've got Anarchy coming. Probably going to see a few barracks over here on the hill, along with the gold mine, I would imagine. There's the Huskarl button. And now the Vietnamese player is definitely on a clock, especially with the weak economy that we have. This game's hard, it's about balance, but I genuinely, as a player who struggles with balancing my economy and keeping it in check so that I can make more and more military, it's why I harp about it so much. Because if you can figure out how to work your economy, everything else in this game becomes easier. It's still very difficult to micro and take care of your military and know what units to build, but if you have an economy, everything gets easier. What did we just delete? What? That was weird. Now, I think I saw arson. Maybe? No, I think I saw squires, not arson. But they're here. Siege Workshop is nice. I don't know if we have the gold for it, but here they come. And that is the power of Pierce Armor. One of the gnarliest units in this game for the past 20 plus years, and they still terrify me as a archer player. I think Battle Elephants and Mangonels might be the right call, but you need to have a very strong economy to pull that off. I also think denying that strategy very early on was correct, so I think maybe we didn't see enough massing of archers. Kind of trickled them in after a while. And that's GG from One Will Fam. I'm too tired. Yeah, I feel that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that's a cop-out. That's a good statement. 5 games is hard. It's a lot. Great set. Genuinely great set. I love that the John Bureau brackets has cleared up enough time consistently after the mandatory time to do this. This is really cool, and it shows that these players really like the game. I've said my thank yous, but I'll say them again. Thank you, T90, for hosting this. Thank you for T90 for doing what you do. Thank you, Rbase and your admin team, for running this. Thank you, Powmat, One Will Fam, and all of our great players for handling this. I think it's super cool that you guys did your own losers bracket, and I think we might be the only bracket that did that I'm aware of. That's probably wrong, but you're the only one that I'm talking about. So this was a great set. One Will Fam, you're two. Misdid these buttons. There we go. One Will Fam, your 2 wins. You should be proud of them. They were very decisive, very strong. Both players, I think we've got some idiosyncrasies that we need to tweak out. And I think, again, I mean what I said earlier, if we can start really learning how to do this economy and do these clean Dark Ages, every single one of these players will go up in ELO for sure. The arc and trajectory of the John Bureau bracket has been phenomenal to watch, and really, really cool to see. This has been Hidden Community Cup John Bureau's King of the Losers bracket. Press 8s in the comments if you know what that means. Between Powmat and One Will Fam with the win, 3-2 in the best of 5 going to Powmat, and they were a great 5 matches to watch. I'm very tired. and I think One Will Fam is too. Everybody have a great night. Hello, this is Scratch flying solo. I was so tired last night that I genuinely didn't realize that that was the final of the King of the Losers bracket for the Jean Bureau bracket of Hidden Community Cup. So I just wanted to come in here and make a little scene to say congratulations, Powmat, on being the King of the Losers, but I realized there's a way to say that in-game anyway. Congratulations, Powmat. You are victorious. You are the King of the Losers.